Welcome to Small Town Snarks. I'm Joel.
And I'm Miranda. Let's get snarky.
Oh, what a celebration we'll have today.
Thank goodness!
We'll have a celebration that
Glinda
Glinda
way! Thank goodness! Finally a day that's totally wicked, witch free. We couldn't be happier. Thank goodness! Oh, we're back, listeners.
We're back.
And Miranda and I have been changed for good.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
For
yeah, I don't know if it really, changed me for good, but we'll get into that.
Yeah. Well, we both have been privileged enough to see the final installment of the Wicked franchise. Wicked
And if you don't want Wicked spoilers, you need to not listen to this episode, because we will be talking all things Wicked, including spoiler things.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Now, I would like to say we have recorded this. Wicked came out officially yesterday, but this episode's not going to come out probably for at least another 2, if not 3 weeks. So if you're listening to this and you haven't seen it yet, how dare you?
Yeah, what are you doing?
Literally,
Come
how
on.
dare you? How dare you? But we're going to talk all things Wicked.
Yep.
And, yeah. We're going to talk about our love for the show and our feelings about the show and the movie and that experience.
Yeah, I think we need to start with the stage production.
I agree with that. Sounded very, very passionate. I agree. I think we need to talk about this.
I mean, you are passionate about this topic,
I have a lot of
I'm
feelings
excited
about
it.
Wicked. I have a lot of emotional ties to Wicked, so I'm excited.
I've never really thought of Wicked the stage production in terms of Act 1 versus Act 2 before the movie, honestly, because since they split it up so much, it's you're kind of isolating Act 1 and Act 2. A lot of people are calling this movie a sequel. It's not. It's the same story. It's just the end of the first part of the story.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think, thinking about the stage musical in maybe more of a critical lens, after watching the movie, I'm like, yeah, there are some flaws with the story that
some pretty big plot points that
we'll get into. But I think in terms of the focus on the female friendship at the center of the whole thing, that to me is what makes the story so special, and also what makes the movie so special is you just don't really see a lot of art forms centered around that, especially in mainstream media.
That's true.
A movie with that type of budget or a musical with that type of budget centered around 2 women doesn't happen a lot. So I think from that perspective, it serves an important purpose. And I love the fact that, these little girls especially are super into Wicked right now. That's amazing. And it makes me super happy. So, yeah, but looking at the stage version, I think we should start with our hot takes with that first and then talk about the movie.
Yeah, I don't know why. I feel like we've talked about Wicked a little bit as far as our background with it, but I mean, I'll just be very frank. I hold the stage musical just very, very it's very dear, which I feel like a lot of people do, and the fact that people have great memories of seeing the stage musical for the first time. I saw the first national tour back in.
Ooh.
It'll be 20 years. Oh my gosh, I'm old. It'll be.
Did you see Stephanie?
I sure did.
Nice.
I sure did. January of 2006.
Did you see her hubby?
I did. Okay, so yeah, fun story with that. So, Wicked was my first professional musical that I ever saw in my life.
Okay.
My brother and mom saw it on a high school bus trip in, I'll probably get this wrong, January of 2005. And then the national tour came to DC in January of 2006.
Okay.
And we all went as a family. And I'll never forget that experience of it was my 4 family members, and then both my grandmothers went. And that was like, I don't have very many memories with one of my grandmothers going to see live theater.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, for me, it was, I hold that, what I remember from that experience very close to, like, a handprint on my heart. I just seeing that, and, like, I still have the original playbill that I got from that show. Nice. It was actually really interesting. So you mentioned Stephanie J. Block. I have an affinity for all things Stephanie J. Block. Mm-hmm. I have seen her in every show that she has done. I've top favorite Broadway performer of all time. I love her. But yeah, so her husband was Fiyero, opposite her for a period of time on the national tour and then on Broadway. But
that's how they met, right?
That is how they met. Nice. Yeah. But so he had not taken over, or he did not start the tour as Fiyero. There was somebody else playing Fiyero at the time, and he actually joined during the DC run. And in my playbill, I have a slip in it that says introducing Sebastian Arcelus. I'm going to say his last name wrong. Introducing Sebastian as Fiyero in the tour. Like, he had not officially become part of the tour yet and wasn't stepping into the role. So I always find that funny when I have that playbill with that slip in it. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're a married couple now with a child. And it's so cool. But yeah, I will never forget sitting at the Kennedy Center and, like, seeing that for the first time. And back when the Kennedy Center was a great place to see theater. That's all I'll say. It just was such a, like, magical experience. And I remember, like, coming back after seeing it, and my mom and brother, when they saw it on Broadway for the first time, bought the souvenir program, and it was, like, filled with all of the beautiful pictures from the show. And I looked at that thing nonstop. I'm pretty sure I still have it. If I do, we'll add it into the photos for this episode. But, like,
I remember being at daycare with you, and you were talking about that show nonstop.
I was obsessed with it. I mean, it just, like,
it changed you.
I was changed for good. Like, it was the core theater experience that really kicked off my love of theater. Just seeing, like, okay, great. I had seen community theater before that. I had seen my brother in high school shows. Like, I'd seen so much theater, but, like, from a professional level, like, what a show to start out with. And then since then, my favorite thing about Wicked that I always think about is that it followed me along at really important times of my life. And that, like, I saw it on Broadway 2 times from the time that I saw it in 2006. The last time I saw it on Broadway was prior to the pandemic, was, like, I'll probably get this wrong, summer of 2015, I think. And then I actually saw it February of 2020 in Baltimore.
Oh, okay.
And it was the last professional show that I saw before Broadway and national tours shut down because of the pandemic. Mm-hmm. And then again, I'm going to get this date wrong probably, but September of 2021. Yeah, that's right. September of 2021. It was the first show that I saw on Broadway when Broadway reopened. Okay. And it was the first week that it had reopened. So it was, like, I think it reopened on, like, a Tuesday, and I went to the Saturday night performance. And it was, like, everybody back in the theater for the first time, and you had to have your masks, and you had to, show your COVID card or your vaccine card, and, like, it was a whole thing. It was a whole thing, but it was, like, that experience of, like, being in the theater again. And, like, there's so many lines in that show that hit differently when, the opening line that Glinda gives in the stage show of "It's good to see me, isn't it?" Yeah. That, like, reaction from the audience was just so powerful. And then Glinda also has a line at the end of the show, something along the lines of, "We've been through a troubling time," or, and just hit so differently. Yeah. So differently. So I love that show. I've seen it on tour on Broadway many, many times. And I also, like you mentioned earlier, what we're seeing with the movie, I have always found it to be, like, the perfect musical to take people to that have either never seen a Broadway show or that, maybe they're looking for something to introduce their kids to, like you said. It's such a good show to introduce people to theater to.
Agreed, because almost everyone has seen The Wizard of Oz. Mm-hmm. And so I've seen the musical on Broadway twice. I saw it. I'm really bad with years, but my parents, I remember they were like, we can take you to see the Glee concert, or we could take you to see Wicked.
Uh-huh.
And I chose the Glee concert. And then, like...
Did they sing Defying Gravity at the Glee concert is the real question.
And then at the end of the year, like the following year, they were like, all right, we're going to see Wicked. And I'd been talking about it for forever at that point, but tickets were expensive.
Oh, they're like insanely
they're still expensive. And when you're talking about a family of 4, it's a lot of money.
Yeah, we're talking like at a good time of year where it's very, tourism is slow in New York. You're still talking at least $115 to $130 for the cheapest ticket. Like it's not inexpensive by any stretch of the imagination.
So I remember, we saw it. I loved it. We were actually, before we saw it, we were repainting my bedroom. Mm-hmm. And we were listening to that in falsettos. Strange combination.
Oh, yeah.
But there was a community theater production of falsettos near New York. Uh-huh. So we saw that, too, when we did this trip.
How old were you? Do you remember?
I'll have to ask my dad. I don't
like
remember.
If you had to I know you couldn't remember the year, but like ballpark it, were you like, is this middle school?
I want to say middle school. I want to say like 12, maybe.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm. I'll get back to you and the fans on that. But there is a picture of me and Kyle outside the theater getting ready to see Wicked for the first time.
It's such a special experience, like walking into that theater, specifically the Gershwin in New York. It's like all Wicked.
And I got a snow globe from it. And like recently when I had moved, like within the past 10 years, the snow globe broke, and Kyle actually gave me his, which was sweet. And it's the same one. It's Glinda and Elphaba in the Emerald City. And I went to see it again on Broadway a few years ago when I was helping with our former high school. I was helping with their production of Legally Blonde, and they took a New York trip, and I got to go, and I saw Wicked with them. And the snow globe was actually Elphaba and Fiyero, so apparently they switch out the snow globes, which I didn't know, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's interesting. But I think if we're looking at it, I want to get into hot takes about the stage production, because if we're gonna tear it apart, okay. Yes. I think Act 1 is just better written than Act 2 in general. Yeah. I think some of the highlights of the show happen in Act 2. There are some parts of Act 2 that feel rushed. Something I've always felt rushed was Nessa's entire story. I just feel like her becoming like more of a villain figure is it, at least to me, it kind of feels like it comes out of nowhere in both the stage and the movie. But I'm curious what you think about that, what your other hot takes are.
Yeah, so I've got several of them. I will say, and I've been having, it's funny, the last couple of days after seeing the movie, I've been messaging with like a lot of family members and a lot of friends that are familiar with the story, and I've been giving like similar commentaries. And I'll say one of my friends who's not seeing it until, by this point they would have seen it, but they were waiting like a week or two to see it, and with knowing the premise for so long, they were like, I don't have to worry about spoilers, because I know what the premise is. And I know, Act 2 is, the weaker of the two acts and X, Y, and Z. So I feel like your thoughts there are pretty borderline with what most people think. Yeah. What I will say is I agree with you about the Nessa Rose storyline. I still think it's the biggest injustice that Wicked Witch of the East, although a very short song in the show, was never recorded with the original Broadway cast. Just because there's some options that Broadway performers do with that song that are really impressive and that we didn't necessarily get from the movie, which I was a little disappointed about. But I agree with her storyline being a little short and not fully fledged out. Although I think the movie does a little bit more with, Bach trying to leave and then he comes back, and, that little bit of it helps kind of establish a little bit more like her villain arc.
Which I don't like Bach.
Oh yeah.
At all.
Let me add one more thing in real quick, and then we'll go down that path. But the thing about Act 2 of Wicked is that they knew they had to address the Wizard of Oz storyline.
Yeah.
And I think, I remember this being a conversation 20 years ago when I saw it for the first time of like, anyone that really knows Wizard of Oz and the plotline of Wizard of Oz knows that the practicality of the situation in Wicked is not possible. The timeline does not work out beautifully. Mm-hmm. Works out enough if you forget a couple of things from Wizard of Oz. The whole Fiyero storyline doesn't quite make sense in the timeline of the show, but like, I think they spend a lot of time trying to make sure that storyline fits in there. And I think ultimately at the end of the day, if you're not like, oh my gosh, Wizard of Oz happens this way, this way, this way, and this way, they do a serviceable job with it. But I think my biggest criticism is that Act 1 goes so quickly because there is so much narrative that you have to build up that, like, it's already, the stage show is 2 hours and 50 minutes long. And I feel like it could be 5 hours. I'd sit there for 5 hours to hear this story.
When you look at both the movies, you're talking 5 hours.
Yeah, which, I mean, we could talk about my personal opinion on best way to watch part 2. But, I agree with you. I think the story is written in a way that, it's not 100% ideal, but I still love it nonetheless. But, let's talk about some of these movie characters for a moment. Bach. Me and Bach! Yeah.
His whole character is that he has a crush on Glinda.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Mm-hmm. And we understand this. What Nessa did was not right.
Mm-hmm.
But
she did it out of love.
No.
I'm just saying that to push buttons, but
No, she did not. I would argue that she did it just because this person made her feel special for the first time, and she was really attached to that feeling. Mm-hmm. And the fact is that all of that was a lie because he was just doing all of that because he thought it was going to impress Glinda. Mm-hmm. And then he, then it backfired on him completely. But also, what did he think was going to happen?
Right.
When he got there, it's irritating.
Mm-hmm.
I will say the way, once, I guess we're doing spoilers, so I can say whatever I want.
Yeah, we gave a warning at the beginning, but here's your other warning.
Once he became the Tin Man.
What?
I know.
I
thought that was beautifully acted, and bordering on horror movie, which I loved. And I thought Ethan Slater did a great job with that.
That moment when he is confronting Nessa before he goes storming off. Solid acting performance from both of them. Where he's he takes a moment when she's like, it was Alphaba, and he's just like, here I am with my axe. Thinks about it for a second and then starts walking away. And that delivery of Bach right before that scene transition.
Well, and freaking Nessa, you can't blame everything on your sister. You need to get over it. Mm-hmm. Some of this is on you, girlfriend. Mm-hmm. And I think that, those two characters, and in the musical, too, they get frustrating because they're just hard to watch at certain points. It's okay, take accountability, both of you.
Exactly, yep.
Have a conversation, take accountability. Mm-hmm. I will say I appreciated the movie's adjustments with the dialogue, because the stage version has some lyrics that are a little bit insensitive
Yes.
to the fact that she's in a wheelchair. It's
Mhm.
like the stage version makes comments about how like Elphaba put her in the wheelchair and how
Mhm.
it's ruined her life type
Mhm.
thing, whereas the movie made adjustments so it has nothing to do with her being in the wheelchair, which I think is great because, you know, like there are a lot of people who utilize wheelchairs who live great normal lives.
Exactly.
So I thought that was great that they
Mhm.
did that. But I still wish she would have been able to have like an equally large moment
Mhm.
with the lyric change.
Yeah.
Because she has such a big like blow up
Mhm.
moment in the stage version that she didn't really get in the
Mhm.
movie. But I thought overall they did a good job with both the movie and the show. I don't fully understand why Elphaba caters to her so much,
Mhm.
but that's
Yeah, I
just
think a
one of my
lot of
things.
it, I mean, in the musical, I think it's a little bit like the stage version. It's a little bit easier to make this point, but I think she is so tied to that guilt
Yeah,
that she expresses in, you know, Act 1 of like, you know, the reason she is the way that she is because of me. And I think a lot of that carries through until you get to Act 2, and specifically after that moment with Bach / the Tin Man,
mm-hmm.
where Alpha was like, I can't, like, I'm already trying to solve all of the other problems of the world.
I can't
Like,
take yours
can't,
on.
I can no longer hold myself responsible. Like, I have not only have I been around to support you as much as I can, but I've also given you something you've wanted, and you're still not happy with it.
And I do like that perspective too, because I think, and especially in the movie, they do a good job of this, which is like the problems that Elphaba faces become so much bigger than the relationship with her sister and
Yes.
the fact that she's green.
Mm-hmm.
Like those things don't really matter anymore because the problems are so much bigger than she ever realized.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's important, just being able to put those things into perspective and being like, the problems of Act 1 were kind of trivial compared to the problems we're dealing with in Act 2.
Well, and honestly, that's a really great point too. And I'm one of those types of people that I'll read the reviews or I'll like skim through all of them because I'm just, you know, curious as to what they say. And there were so many people that I could tell that were not familiar with the stage version when they were writing these reviews, because a lot of them were like, wow, there's just conflict after conflict after conflict. And I'm like, it's been that way for 20 plus years now.
Yeah.
Like the story was all the conflict, and the breaking point for all of the characters happens in Act 2.
Right.
So like that's what you're gonna get.
Right. Act 1 was all about
Narrative.
we want you to fall in love with these characters.
Yep.
And then Act 2 is, okay, now we're going to destroy you.
Yes, exactly.
But that I kind of love that, right? Like, and I'll compare it to falsettos in a way, right? Like Act 1 is just a fun old time, and you get to Act 2, and you're like, wow,
it's not fun anymore.
And it's I want to, like, I keep watching these TikTok reviews, right? And my favorites are the ones with people who brought kids.
Yes.
And like I'm so interested to hear what that one person, like, what her son's review is, because he loved the first one.
Yeah.
But it's like you show your kids Act 1, they fall in love with it, and then you got to go show them Act 2.
Yes.
And it's like, okay, like, buckle up.
Yep.
But we got to talk about the new songs.
Oh, I was waiting for you to get there. Do you want me to start with those? Because I've got feelings. Okay. I am of the belief, and this might be a really strong theater hot take, but I stand by it, as I'm aware of a lot of the new work that Steven Schwartz is writing.
Yeah.
I don't think he's writing in a similar style now than he was 20 plus years ago.
Right.
So my first issue that I have with these two new songs is that they definitely don't gel as well in style to the other songs from the musical. That's my first feeling. And it's really funny, I mentioned about like Wicked Witch of the East not being on the original soundtrack. So, people may not be as familiar if they've spent the last year, listening to that music, or,
Right.
They may not be as familiar with that song. And I feel like, you could hear that song and you'd be like, yeah, oh, that fits perfectly into Wicked because it has always been there. But you think about these two new songs, and of the two of them, I think the one that worked the best was No Place Like Home.
Mm-hmm.
Simply because of the fact that it gave a little bit, it reminded everybody of the struggle of the animals of Oz. And it had a nice energy to it. And I also, Cynthia Erivo could sing me the phone book.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd be there for the entire phone
I thought
book.
they were both beautifully sung.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That was just an extra point to that song. My issue with Girl in the Bubble. Girl in the Bubble?
I think so.
I think that's the name of it. Girl surrounded
First
by
of
bubbles.
all, they both have the cheesiest titles
You
could come up with.
Yeah. My issue with that song is that the energy is so high during March of the Witch Hunters. So high. I didn't feel the need to pause to give Glinda a retrospective moment. Or an introspective, not retrospective. I mean, kind of retrospective, but introspective moment of self-discovery that she again is going to have a few moments later and much more effectively during For Good.
Exactly. That's the thing. I saw it with Dakota and two of our friends. And one of our friends put it best when he said what she was singing were all things that we already knew. Mm-hmm. She wasn't giving us any new information.
Correct.
And musicals, the primary device of using music is to give us additional information.
Yes. Yep.
And there wasn't any additional information. I don't think the additional songs that they added for the movie made anything better.
I agree with that.
I think that's my main problem.
Yeah.
I would argue that they hurt the pacing of the movie.
I agree.
I think both of those women had plenty to sing in the movie. They didn't need additional songs. We already know they're both amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And also, like, with the animal stuff, like, I don't mind seeing more of that storyline, but it kind of made me a little mad at Elphaba because, like, I mean, these animals are being, like, persecuted and stuff for things that they, like, for nothing. Mm-hmm. And she's telling them, no, you need to stay. Mm-hmm. Like, you can't leave. This is our home. Like, you have to stay. When, like, honestly, the best thing for them to do in that moment was to get out. Mm-hmm. Like, they don't have the powers that she has. Mm-hmm. Like, she's able to fly away. She has all these other resources that they don't have. And, like, that kind of irritated me a little bit because I was like, how dare you tell them, like, oh, because I chose this fight, you also need to fight with me. Like, they're in danger.
Yeah, and I thought it was interesting that they used that opportunity to also build out the lion story more, which...
He felt kind of thrown in there,
he was. I think the biggest thing there was, like, in the stage show, the only moment that you really get with the lion is during March of the Witch Hunters, and you see the lion's tail. Like, you never see any more of the lion other than his tail in the stage version. And I agree with you. It felt very, like, thrown in there of, like, oh, don't forget, hey, remember the Wizard of Oz? Remember it? We're not going to mention it by name, but, like, remember that story about you remember Kansas, the state?
I will say, I respect the fact that they never showed Dorothy's face.
I agree.
I respect the fact that they never made it about her.
Mm-hmm.
I know, and even my friends also brought this up, and, like, one of the heavy critiques was we wanted to see more Dorothy. We wanted to see more of the Oz characters, and... to your point, when we were talking on the phone, just watch The Wizard of Oz.
Exactly.
This is not, like, I love the shot where the monkeys grab her and you just see her
legs,
feet.
Yeah.
Like, she is in there the perfect amount of time.
Yep. there was an interview or something John Chu was doing a few weeks ago prior to the release of the movie where he was talking about Dorothy in the story, and his intention was to not mess with the audience's vision of who Dorothy is.
Yep.
And from like an artistic standpoint, I mean, we've talked about this on the podcast before with like our directing styles of like, one of the benefits of doing theater, and, I always think about this with minimalist theater, but, it's theater in general, is your audience is very smart and they come to the table with their own experiences, with their own ideas, their own background information. And specifically with something like Wicked, people come to Wicked for good with an idea of The Wizard of Oz. Mm-hmm. And whether that be your backstory with watching The Wizard of Oz or, any other, the book or, The Wiz or, what was that? The Oz Great and Powerful movie or whatever it was from a few years ago. Like, everybody comes to the table with a different knowledge of that character. And I love that he was like, I'm going to give you just enough to make you realize, okay, this story is happening at the same time, parallel to Wicked. And it was just a really nice nod. And there were a couple other moments like that that aren't in the stage show or aren't as fully depicted in the stage show.
Like you see the profile of her face, which
you see
I
the
love.
profile of her face. I really love the there's the line that Madame Morrible has to the wizard of like, you've got visitors, and he's like, I'm not seeing anybody, and she's like, oh no, we can use these. It's a farm girl and 3 friends she picked up along the way, and they all won something. Like, that whole dialogue is just, it was really intentional, and it really built on that story.
I also love when Glinda's like, we'll make something up, you're good at that. And then you see him going off in the balloon and Dorothy getting left behind. Like,
so good.
It's so good. I think you're exactly right. Like, by not showing that much, you're letting her be whoever you want Dorothy to be in your head. Like, and I mean, no one's going to be Judy Garland. Like, it's just not going to happen. So if you, give the idea of her without having someone pretend to be her, you're good. Because it can be interpreted however you want.
I will say, because I know we're getting towards the end of this episode, but I want to talk about favorite parts of the movie.
And we also have to talk about a hot debate that people have about the end.
Oh, yes. All right. Let's do favorite parts, and then we'll do the hot debate.
Okay.
Hot topic debate. Someone that I know saw the movie on Monday of the week that it was released, so like a few days beforehand. And the review that I got from them was not as good as the first, but all of the points where it needs to be high, like the high energy, high intensity, really, solid points from Act 2 hit really hard. And I would say that depicts not only my feelings about it, but also my favorite parts of it. That run of songs from As Long As You're Mine to No Good Deed to March of the Witch Hunters, sensational. I mean, No Good Deed was incredible.
I will give you one more. I'm Not That Girl reprise.
Oh my gosh,
through that
section. I'm sorry, cut that out of there. Yeah, 100%. Like, Ariana Grande, as much criticism as she gets, that it was a great performance.
I felt for Glinda more, honestly, through the movie version. And it's the same way in the stage production, but like watching it this time, I was like, Elphaba and Fiyero are in the wrong there. Like, I'm sorry. That is not, like, that whole thing was so messed up. But As Long As You're Mine, great song. Loved the chemistry and everything. But you've got Glinda in a wedding dress crying while that's happening.
Yeah, it there were just so many moments in that show where I was like, okay, one of my favorite things, and again, if we mentioned this before, it bears repeating on previous episodes, but one of my favorite things prior to, like, during the promotion of the first film, they released videos of Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande finding out that they got the roles. And Ariana Grande's video always makes me have all the feels because there's a line in that video right after she's told that she's going to be playing Glinda where she says, "I'm going to take such good care of her." And I'm getting emotional thinking about it now. I'm just like she did. And I feel like so many people feel so attached to that story that like, yeah, I mean, when you talk about that moment and like her character arc throughout the entire second movie, it just was so powerful and so like emotionally well done.
Yeah, I think definitely when I was younger, I was like, if I'm picking a side, I was definitely Team Alphaba. And as I've gotten older, I'm like, I really am resonating with Glinda.
Yeah.
I really am. And, you know, not just because I'm a white blonde woman, but also like, I feel that a lot of people overlook Glinda's struggles because Alphaba's struggles are so obvious. Mm-hmm. And I really loved what they did in the movie with making it so clear, like, when Alphaba basically says to her, like, you, like, and they do it in the stage version too, but, like, now it's up to you. Like, you have to use your power and make a difference because they need to be able to hate me in order for you to be able to accomplish what you need to accomplish. Mm-hmm. And that pressure, like that weight of that entire situation being on her.
Yeah, and for sure.
One of the additions to the movie that I loved was when they're saying goodbye. Mm-hmm. We didn't get to see that in the stage version.
The door moment. Oh,
I know you love a door moment.
I too love a door moment.
It was so good.
Oh, yeah. And they held on to it, like they kept the camera on that moment for just the right amount of time. Like it wasn't like, oh, here's a quick glimpse. It was like, you're gonna sit in this for a moment.
Yeah, and I knew For Good was gonna hit, and it did. That's the song I love the most from Act 2. I knew you were looking forward to No Good Deed the most.
I love a just belty song, and that I've been listening to it nonstop since the album came out. Just so good.
It's funny because Dakota didn't know how to end it, and and like the first, I want to say it was like the first time you see like Dorothy and like, you know, the Tin Man's already been revealed and everything, and he like looks at me and he's like, "Wait, who's the Scarecrow?" And I just said nothing. I was like,
that was also so smartly done because you don't see Fiyero as the Scarecrow until the last like minute, until the big reveal.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you obviously during No Good Deed you see glimpses, and you know, if you're, you know, you might pick up on it, but it's so smartly done in that way, and it gives like a double punch of that and the reveal at the end.
Now, the big debate that people are having online, that we need to talk about, when the Grimmery opens, at the end. People are debating, is that a sign that Glinda now has powers, or is it Elphaba telling Glinda that she is still alive?
Yeah. Something that annoys me, we'll just say, is they have gone through so much together, the three of them, Fiyero, Elphaba, and Glinda. The line that always annoys the heck out of me is when they're like, we can't tell Glinda.
I know.
And I'm like, what the heck? I mean, I get it. And honestly, it's probably for her better. Like, it's better for her to not know, like, in the grand scheme of things from a society thing. But, like, what do you mean you can't tell her? You've been through everything with her. Like, it's fine.
Like, at the end of the day, Glinda's getting the worst out of that entire situation.
Yeah. She thinks everybody's gone and everybody's dead. And... yeah,
like Alphaba and Fiyero are just going to go to wherever and perform As Long As You're Mine again and again.
Yes.
And she just thinks her friend and her ex-fiance are dead.
Yes. Yep. Yeah, but to answer your question, I'd like to hope that it's an acknowledgement to her that they're still alive out there, you know, so she has some like additional closure or like this like realization that like, you know, things are okay.
I'm honestly not sold on either. I would be happy with both. I think I think I don't know. Like, I'm really torn on it, honestly, because, Elphaba also looks, out, like, in that direction when it happens.
Yeah.
So, like, it could be that, and that would be great. But I think it also could be, like, Glinda is finally being authentic, and, like, maybe that's what she needed to discover in order to have powers.
Yeah.
So I think for Glinda's sake, I'm actually hoping that it's because of Glinda herself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Wicked Part 3 coming out in 2022. I hope not.
No, leave it alone.
Here's what I will say as just kind of like a wrap-up statement to this conversation. I hope that this is an opportunity for Hollywood and for producers to realize that movie musicals do work when they are in the right hands. We have seen time and time again that certain directors don't understand what musical theater people want out of their movie musicals. I think, right now, Wicked is tracking to have the biggest opening weekend of the year, and it's already... Wicked for Good.
Yeah.
But it's already broken into the top 10 of preview grosses of all time. It's number 10, which is like insane. So I just hope that this is an indication that like movie musicals do work. They need to be in the right hands, and you need people that respect them. And
you need to give them the right budget.
Yeah, that too.
You need to give them an adequate budget, because this one actually did the marketing. They did all of the things, and it worked.
Yes.
Because John M. Chu directed a great movie of In the Heights, but no one went to see it. And he even has an interview about that, which I think is so interesting. Like, no one went to see it, and Wicked is one of the most popular movies right now. So, like, if you put it in the right hands and give it the right money, it will succeed, but you have to trust that it will.
Yes.
And that's hard, but we're seeing it. We're seeing it in real time.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I agree with that 100%. My other selfish hot take and opinion is give me a Wicked theme park land, and a real Wicked theme park land. If it grosses, if everything altogether grosses, over $1 billion, give us a Wicked theme park land. I don't care where it's at, Universal. You got 3 parks. Pick one. Give me a land. Let me fly. Let me do something.
I want to defy gravity.
I want to have a meal at the Ozdas Ballroom. Oh, yeah. Yeah. I want a dark ride where I go through shiz. Like, a boat ride that goes through shiz. Could you imagine? Like, these
March of the Witch Hunters.
Yeah, I want a torch, and I want to walk through at night through the land. I've got big plans. Universal, call me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I love it.
There's so much possibility.
I know. I know. Well, Universal, you're welcome to sponsor us anytime.
Yes.
We'll promote it for you.
We love you and your products.
And to be clear for all the listeners, even though we have hot takes and big feelings about this, we are both very glad that these movies exist, and we both will enjoy them many, many times.
Would highly recommend it.
Yeah, go experience it.
See it in theaters.
Yeah, it is one of those movies that you should really see in theaters.
Well, put your money to work and tell people that you want more movie musicals.
Yes.
Spend the money. Go see it in theaters.
Take someone who's never seen it.
Oh my! Yes, that is my biggest call to action here. Definitely take someone who has not seen it, and take people that might be interested in musical theater.
Now watch the first one first.
Yes.
But
that was the other thing I was going to say. I would highly recommend, if you have not seen it yet. Again, I'm very upset with you, but still, there's time to fix this. Watch the first one right before you see the second one.
I did not do that, and I wish I would have. Yeah.
I watched the first one the night before I saw the second one, and it hits differently. I also will say it's one of those movies that I would recommend seeing twice, especially if you're really familiar with the stage show. You go into this part 2 with this expectation of things and knowing what's going to happen, that you spend a lot of the time in the movie trying to understand how things are going to work. When you see it a second time, you're there to just appreciate the movie that you've seen, and it hits differently.
And also, It's not too late. Give us a new Into the Woods movie. Split it in 2 parts.
Please.
Give us a new Les Mis movie. Split it in 2 parts. We'll pay to see it. We will.
Yeah.
Just get it done.
I've got a hot take. One last hot take.
Okay.
Cats could work as a movie, but make it a stage pro shot with.
I think
great
if they would have
performers.
kept the buttholes, it would have worked.
And on that note, thank you for listening to our Wicked Tea today.
Yep.
Go see Wicked.
See it.
Tell us your thoughts.
Yeah, I want to hear all your hot
Start
takes.
talking to me about Wicked, and I won't shut up. So please, anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
As I prepare to shut up and stop talking about Wicked.
We have been changed
For
good.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
And that's a wrap. Thanks for getting snarky with us. We'll see you later.
See you next time.